Hey It Girl, welcome to my closet. My name's Abby. I'm the owner of Abbode, which is an embroidery boutique located in Oleta on Elizabeth Street. This is my closet. I moved into this apartment during COVID and I basically was like, how can I live out my Carrie Bradshaw fantasy life? Which is how I ended up in this amazing Soho loft, which is actually a dream come true, and I never ever want to leave. This building is a really, really cool loft building. It used to be like a factory building that was converted into apartments. Julia Fox used to live in this building, which is so cool. My super actually knew her, which is just so crazy, especially with how popular she's gotten and how fun she is. If you look up online some of her, like she did a Playboy shoot, and then I think she did another shoot of her apartment, and you can kind of see some similar details. I don't know exactly which unit she was in, but I did know she used to live here. So here I have a lot of my jackets and sweaters, just kind of my short tops, and then I have this one section for some longer pieces. This sweater is so cool. This is a vintage one that I sourced. I get so many compliments on this whenever I wear it. It has these like old retro Fords on them, like Ford cars. This skirt is actually a new piece that I just added. I actually got this custom made. I worked with a seamstress. I went to the garment district, picked out a fabric, and then had someone custom make it for me because these skirts are so fun, but I couldn't find one that I love. So this was like a really fun project. And now when people compliment it, I'm like, oh, I actually designed it. I love like a good basic tee with a little pop of embroidery. This one's from Abbode, and I feel like a white t-shirt's a classic, but just adding a little touch to it really makes all the difference and really elevates any outfit. We do custom embroidery, we do all the zodiac signs, and you could really get these customized with anything, but I'm just such like a zodiac girl. So this is a really fun quilted jacket. I actually sourced this vintage quilt and then had it made into a jacket. So this is another really fun piece. This is one of my favorites. I bought this dress from Ghani last September because I wore it to Fashion Week the first time I was ever invited to any event. So this is just like such a special one to me, and I'm gonna love it forever. This dress is also really fun, from Rachel Antonoff. I got this like over a year ago, before martinis were such a trend. So I feel like whenever you're ahead of the trend, you gotta like give yourself credit. I love hats. I feel like I don't wear them so much in the city. Like I love this custom made kimosabe hat that I got when I was in Vail last year. I got my initials put on it, and then my best friend and I both got them, so we got hearts in the ear inside so we can remember. I just think that it's so fun, and can you just imagine me skiing or out at a ranch? Like, it's perfect. Also, Lack of Color is such a good brand for hats, especially beach and sun hats. I alternate between these two all of the time, and I'm also terrified of getting wrinkles or really want to protect my skin. So it's like a perfect way in the summer to still stay healthy but look cute. I have the bottom rack with all my coats, and then the top, I have a lot of sweaters and blazers. I love jackets. I have been collecting jackets for ages, and especially for vintage. I love, love, love jackets. This one is so cool. I also wear this with my hats out west, but this one, I saw someone wearing it on Instagram, and I was like, I need that jacket. So I used as many keywords as possible, and I was able to actually find it on Etsy, and I was so happy, and I love, love, love this one. This jacket is also really, really beautiful. This one is from Max Mara, and I got this actually when I was traveling in Europe a few years ago, and it's just like, this is like a New York City night out, great restaurant, great show type of jacket. This vintage jacket is also so much fun. This was right when Saks Potts came on the scene, and I was like, I need one of those jackets, but I was looking for one that was a bit more affordable. So I ended up actually, like weeks after saying that, finding this vintage one, and I actually bought little arm fur cuffs, and so I'll kind of style it really similar to like a Saks Potts one with like a belt and a little fur cuff. This is the newest jacket I've added to my collection. It's so much fun. I actually am renting it from Nuuly, but I think I'm gonna buy it after because I just don't think I can part with it. This is probably one of the best pieces that I own. I don't think I've ever gotten complimented more in a jacket ever. It's this really amazing vintage one that I found, and I just love it. I think it's so different, and the pattern kind of just tells a fun story, and like the colors are subtle enough that it matches everything. This furry Ulla Johnson jacket is also amazing. This was another one that I saw And I was like, I need that, but it was a little too expensive, so I waited, and I think I ended up getting it on Poshmark, which was such a steal because I had my eye on this for like a year and a half before I finally purchased it. And then one of my all-time favorite pieces is this Selkie dress that I wore to one of my best friend's weddings in Italy this summer. It's such a moment, and I want to remember wearing it forever. So here is where I keep most of my accessories, and this is like my favorite place to come when I'm getting dressed. Before I had the closet like this, I just felt like I was losing everything and nothing was in my face, so I just wasn't gravitating towards anything, and I was wearing the same bag, the same shoes over and over. I would say this bag is probably my favorite that I own. I got this when I was in Capri in Italy 2 summers ago, and I do think it's one of the only of its kind in the world because when I was purchasing it, they told me that they test new bags at that store because it's seasonal, and I've never seen anyone with it, never seen it on The RealReal, never seen it anywhere, so I kind of feel like I own a piece of Prada history with this one. And then also for designer bags, this Chanel is just, Prada's my favorite. This is my most worn, my most tried and true. I've also never seen anyone with this one, so I think it's a bit of an older style. I got this one secondhand, and it's this really nice like patent material, so it's the perfect going out bag. It never gets dirty, never spills. The black and the tan just goes with everything. It's the perfect size. I do it as a shoulder bag. It's really like, this is my child. I, of course, had to get this silver lighter bag from Edie Parker. I'm obsessed with this. It's not only is a silver bag a must, but it has an amazing lighter on it. So like when I'm out and anyone needs a light, you know, I have to offer it and be the coolest girl in the room. I added this little silver chunky chain from Amazon to it because sometimes clutches aren't really practical, but then I can carry it and it's easy. So this Fendi baguette bag is actually really sentimental in addition to just being really cute. It was a vintage one, and I ended up bringing it to my store and embroidering this matchstick pattern on it. And then on the back, I had my boyfriend handwrite "Light of My Life," and I embroidered his exact handwriting onto the bag. So this one is just really, really special to me, and it's really cute. For vintage bags, this one is so cute, and I love this one so much. It has these little embroidered martinis on it, and the pink and green. It's so cute. I use it all the time in the summer. This vintage Fendi is also so much fun. My aunt actually gave this to me when I was in high school, and I was like, oh my God, that's the craziest, weirdest bag I've ever seen, and I'm so happy I held on to it because now with vintage, it's just like so fun and such a vibe. And then also another classic that I wear so much is this Stod bag. I love the pattern. I got this in LA at their LA store before they opened a New York store, and it's so colorful. It matches everything, and I wear it all the time. I love shoes, and I think my favorite pair are probably these hot pink Chanel slingbacks. I bought these for myself as a birthday present a couple years ago, and I've noticed anything of this style from Chanel, I wear the most out of all my shoes here, the black ones. They're just so classic and match everything and are actually comfortable. And my Chanel flats that I'm wearing today, these black and white ones, I actually thrifted these for $75. They were unworn, brand new in about 2018 before COVID, and I hung on to them even though at the time I wasn't really a flats girl because I was like, these were $75. And then I'm so happy I kept them because now I wear them all the time. I love sneakers, so I have these silver Onitsuka Tigers that I wear all the time, and my red Gazelles. I feel like these two are my most worn, my go-tos at the moment. I also have a pair of Chanel sneakers, which have seen better days, but I mean, that just means I wear them all the time. So I feel I'm a big wearer of my things. I feel like some people have designer and it just sits in their closet, but I will wear my things to death because one, that's how I get my money's worth, and two, if I'm spending all this money on them, I want to show them off. Another fun thing that I kind of uncovered in setting up this closet and redoing this in the last couple of weeks is all of my old vintage, they feel vintage because I've worn them in so long, but all of my older, early 2010s shoes, like I have these Givenchy little white boots that I got when I was first living in New York that are just, I'm hanging onto all of these either for my daughter or for when they come back in style, which, you know, both of those are gonna come sooner than you think. Same goes for these Balenciaga boots. I really just like When I saw these, they just brought me back to the time in my life when I would wear these all the time. These were like one of my first designer shoe purchases, and I really thought I was the coolest girl in the room whenever I had these on. For perfume, I love Baccarat Rouge like everybody else does. And then I'm also really into Byredo. I think that they just are such clean, classic, and beautiful scents. I bought this before I had this closet, and I just knew that I was gonna display it someday, and I manifested this closet and this display, and honestly, I even have a few pieces in here that I don't even planning on wearing, but I just like to have them. They're like kind of like a collection. This piece right here is a vintage vest with a matching skirt. This doesn't really fit me. I'm like, it's one of those pieces that I'm like, maybe someday, but also I just love it. And it's just one of those pieces that like once I have an even bigger closet than this and I can display things, this is definitely a piece that I want to display. I feel like this closet is just one drop in the bucket of this like amazing apartment and apartment building that I live in. And this actually piece right here, which I keep outside, is the photographer actually lives in the building and is so cool and has shot so many famous people over the years. And this was actually just sitting in the basement of the building. And I asked if I could have it, and the man who works in my building said yes. And so now it's just my favorite art piece. And I've also found in this building, I found VHS tapes from old runway shows, like old like European brand runway shows. And I just find the craziest stuff and have the coolest neighbors here. And so I just feel lucky to have stumbled upon this amazing loft in Soho and just be here for the last 4 years. This is my giant martini cutout. This was from an event that I did for my brand a few months ago, and I just couldn't get rid of it, obviously. So it really kind of goes, I have my big martini, I have my big legs print, and you know, when an apartment like this, you're able to have giant cutouts of martinis. Having my own business is so stressful and so crazy, especially that and living in New York City. So having this has just been such a sanctuary for me. And I feel like if you're into fashion, you always love getting dressed, but like, I really love getting dressed in here. And it brings me peace. I start my day so happy because I'm so grateful and so lucky that I pinch myself. I walk in here, I pinch myself. I think I have this closet, I get to live in New York City, I get to have my own business. Like, what is this life? So I would say, I've learned so much, and my best piece of business advice that I've, gathered over the last 2 years is people who come into your life hard and fast, and you have these crazy, oh my God, this is my new business partner, my new best friend. Those are never the people that are gonna last. It's the people who you build up these long-term relationships with that are there for you over time. Those are the people that are gonna stay and be there for you. And the next day best friend, don't trust them, because it's not gonna work out. Thank you so much for coming by, It Girl. Now I have to get back to the store and embroider.